Scottsdale, Arizona, 2012. Gordon Ramsay walks into Amy's baking company.
Hey, chef!
How are you?
How are you doing?
Nice to see you.
He's greeted by 62-year-old Samy Bouzaglo. A moment later, Amy, Sammy's 39-year-old wife, also meets the Michelin-starred chef. Chef Ramsay inspects the kitchen at Amy's baking company and is surprised by its exceptional organization and cleanliness, which is uncommon for a restaurant on Kitchen Nightmares. He sits down with the couple in the dining room and digs into Amy's 3-layer chocolate ganache cake. Ramsay is impressed by the taste and gives the dessert a thumbs up. Amy insists her cakes are made from scratch, with no store-bought shortcuts. Discussing their history next, Amy says she and Sammy were married after just 5 months of knowing each other. Once a supposed playboy in Las Vegas, Sammy gave it up after tying the knot. Asked if they had any children, Amy responds, "We have 3 little boys trapped in cat bodies."
They're my whole life besides my husband and my business. I speak feline. Meow, meow, meow.
With the place looking spotless and the food he sampled being top-notch, a curious Ramsay asks, "What's the problem?" "Online bullies," Amy says, bringing up a specific incident with a guy who ordered a pizza and left a nasty review back 2.5 years before that in 2010. That review, they explain, was what started the online bullying. Hearing about the online trolls, especially the pizza order gone wrong, surprises Gordon Ramsay, who shakes his head in disbelief. It's been a lot for Ramsay to process. He's unsure what to expect over the next few days in Scottsdale. At this point, though, he feels that one thing is certain.
Meeting you two for the first time, you are both fucking nuts.
I know.
Ramsay's next move is to explore more of the menu at Amy's baking company. At his table, his server Miranda reveals that she doesn't get to keep her tips. Instead, Sammy collects them and pays her a flat hourly rate. Ramsay quips that she might be the only server in America who doesn't receive tips. When his fig and pear prosciutto pizza arrives, Ramsay is disappointed to find the dough undercooked, resulting in a soggy center. He asks Sammy to relay his feedback about the pizza crust to Amy, but Sammy hesitates to deliver the news to his wife. After waiting for 75 minutes, the only thing Ramsay has been served is the undercooked pizza. Next up is the blue ribbon burger. Despite ordering it medium rare, it arrives overcooked and piled with excessive fancy toppings like white truffle oil, which Ramsay feels are unnecessary. Then the ravioli, one of Gordon's favorite dishes, appears. Much to his dismay, it turns out to be store-bought, frozen, and topped with an odd combination of ingredients that don't quite complement each other. The last dish is a salmon burger, and it's another letdown. It's so dry that Ramsay jokes it could be served as cat food for one of Amy's felines. While surveying the kitchen, Ramsay notices another unusual detail. Amy has no male staff members working alongside her, other than Sammy, of course.
The male chefs, their ego is too big and it's too little in my kitchen, so they leave. I show them the door. And they don't have my standards.
Unimpressed by his lunch experience, Ramsay informs the couple that he'll return to observe the dinner service in the evening. Before he leaves, though, he gives Miranda a final parting gift.
That's for you.
Oh, thank
You
you.
only.
Thank you.
Ramsay returns to Amy's baking company for the day 1 dinner service as the sun sets in Arizona that December evening. Before it starts, Chef Ramsay gathers Sammy and Amy in the kitchen for a serious talk. The atmosphere is tense. Ramsay asks Sammy why he doesn't share customer complaints with Amy. Before Sammy can answer, Amy jumps in, insisting that the pizza Ramsay had criticized earlier was perfectly fine. Gordon explains that Amy thinks her cooking is perfect because she lacks real customer feedback. Realizing he is not getting anywhere with Amy, he turns his attention to the evening's menu. Gordon spots the frozen ravioli on the menu and tells Amy to remove it, saying it's not good enough. Amy strongly disagrees, refusing to make any changes. Frustrated, Ramsay turns to the restaurant's customers and asks if they think the ravioli should stay. The customers side with Ramsay. Defeated, Sammy returns to the kitchen and tells Amy they must drop the ravioli for the night. Amy shows her annoyance and is visibly unhappy about the change. Meanwhile, there is another hitch. The servers can't use the POS system to punch in orders. They must manually jot everything down, leading to plenty of mix-ups. Despite being skilled with the system, Sammy insists they stick to pen and paper, ramping up the stress for the whole team. One table didn't get one of the dishes they ordered because, surprise, Sammy didn't see it written on the piece of paper that Miranda took the order on. After denying this, Miranda fishes the order slip out of the bin to prove to Sammy that she did write it down. Back in the kitchen, Amy mixes up the table number for an order she's sending out. The server, Katie, notices the mistake and asks Amy if she's sure it's going to the right table.
You don't need to question me, Katie. You can go home right now.
I'm sorry.
Sammy?
Yes, Daddy.
I would appreciate it if you would send Katie home right now.
Sammy, trying to smooth things over, assures Katie it's okay and convinces her to stay put, for now. Despite the reassurance, there is a lingering tension as everyone watches to see if the mix-up will cause more issues. Meanwhile, things spiral further out of control as dishes are returned to the kitchen, but Sammy still refuses to give his wife the bad news. When Gordon catches Sammy pocketing a $10 tip intended for the waitress, he immediately confronts him. Getting nothing but weak excuses from Sammy, Gordon decides to take matters into his own hands. He goes straight to the customer to find out what they think about their tip ending up with the manager instead of the server.
No,
Don't with me.
Yeah, I will with you.
Yeah.
Who the fuck you think you are?
The tension between Sammy and Ramsay escalates as the customers look on. Sammy snaps at Gordon, "Don't talk to me like I'm a villain. I'm the gangster, not you." Then, Amy is shocked to find Katie still at the restaurant despite having told her to go home earlier. After a harsh exchange that reduces Katie to tears, Amy fires her for standing up for herself. But Katie has last word, declaring, "I quit," before Amy can finish.
Anymore. She's a poisonous little viper, and I don't allow people to have an attitude in my restaurant. What does she know? Who the hell is she?
Projection much, Amy? The night service finally ends, and Ramsay sits with Amy and Sammy to review the evening's events. He assures Amy his intentions are good, but she's still skeptical. Sammy tries to convince her to listen to Ramsay, but she's not having any of it. The discussion between Gordon and Amy gets heated, her eyes growing wider with each intense exchange. After a series of justifications from Amy and silence from Sammy, an exhausted and frustrated Ramsay bids them goodnight, marking one of the most challenging first days he's ever had on Kitchen Nightmares. The following day, Ramsay arrives early at Amy's baking company, ready to devise a plan to turn things around. But to his surprise, the restaurant is unexpectedly closed. Instead of meeting with the owners, he sits down with two former employees, Jessica and Henry. Initially hired as a food runner, Jessica reveals that she was only allowed to serve water because Sammy didn't trust culinary school graduates. Henry shares an even more degrading experience, recounting how Sammy once made him clean his car. During her 18 months at Amy's baking company, Jessica witnessed over 50 people getting fired. After his eye-opening conversation with the former employees, Ramsay heads back to the restaurant. Sammy suggests they put the previous day's events behind them and start fresh. However, as Ramsay points out their mistakes, Amy becomes confrontational and defensive, refusing to listen to his advice. Ramsay tells Amy that this is why no one wants to work for her. Amy retorts that she's had to fire 50 people so far, but Sammy corrects her, stating that the number of people they fired is closer to 100. Amy leaves the kitchen to grab a glass of water, complaining to the camera crew that Gordon is attacking and insulting her. She blames everyone else for disrupting the previous night's service. When Amy returns, she and Gordon get into another argument, while Sammy just quietly sits and listens. Gordon tells Amy she is being delusional, but she doesn't want to hear any more criticism. Sammy tries to encourage her to listen to Gordon and let him finish.
They can't help people that can't help themselves and cannot ever take 1 ounce of criticism.
Gordon tells Amy and Sammy that if they aren't willing to change, he will not continue working with them. Chef Ramsay acknowledges that they have the right to run the restaurant as they see fit, but he must do what he believes is right, which is to walk away from the situation. Faced with endless excuses and no indication of progress, Ramsay does something he has never done before on any episode of Kitchen Nightmares. This is the first time he has encountered restaurant owners he cannot help. Frustrated, he leaves the restaurant without implementing any changes, marking the first time in the show's history that Chef Ramsay has quit the job. Outside, Ramsay concludes, after almost 100 kitchen nightmares, I met 2 owners I could not help because they are incapable of listening. With that, Ramsay gets in his car and drives away from Amy's baking company. Even though Ramsay was supposed to come back the next day to wrap up filming, the shoot was cut short because of how bad things got. The crazy ending meant that everyone had to wait 5 whole months before Fox finally aired the unforgettable episode in May 2013. The long wait was mostly due to a media blackout, which is a pretty common thing for TV shows to do to avoid spoilers and keep people tuning in. The restaurant owners and customers who show up on the episode also have to sign agreements promising not to spill the beans before it airs. But with how intense and explosive this particular episode was, keeping a tight lid on everything was definitely a challenge. On the same day that Ramsay stopped filming and left Amy's baking company for good, December 10th, 2012, the Phoenix Times published an article with the headline, Screaming, Expletives, and Eventually, Police. All in the first night of Kitchen Nightmares taping at Amy's baking company. The article in question was written about the events that transpired 2 nights prior, on Saturday, the 8th of December. The Kitchen Nightmares film crew and producers were on hand to observe the dinner service. This was the evening before Chef Ramsay arrived, on Sunday the 9th. One diner, who chose to stay anonymous because he signed a confidentiality agreement for the show, couldn't believe what was happening was real. He heard Amy and Sammy yelling in the kitchen, and guests were getting hungry. Some people who ordered their food at 6:45 p.m. were still waiting at 9:30. Thinking it was just part of the show's drama, he asked a producer, who told him that no, this was all happening.
Amy's nuts.
I am going to really hurt somebody if they send back my cake.
Still without his pizza, the diner went to the cash register to talk to Sammy, who was already arguing with another customer. When the diner reminded Sammy that he'd been waiting for his pizza for over an hour, Sammy snapped at him, "Why don't you go F yourself?" Soon after, Amy came out to see what the commotion was. Sammy kicks out the diner, telling him to get out. Customers are left wondering if what they are seeing is for real or if it's part of the show. Amy threatens to call the cops before Sammy tells her, "Don't call the cops, are you crazy?" Things get even more tense at the front of the restaurant.
You come from yelp, I told you. You go. You. Kidding me right now? No, I'm kidding. I'm you.
The producer rushes into the middle between the guys, offering to pay their bill, while strongly suggesting they leave. Before leaving, Amy calls the guy a little weenie as they walk away. Back in the restaurant, Amy has a meltdown in front of the rest of the guests.
You motherfuckers, you all think that you can come in here and say these things. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
The diner mentioned, the producers told me they had never seen anything like this. As the diner and his partner left, he saw the Scottsdale police were already there. He believes they were responding to a 911 hang-up call made by Amy. He also overheard Amy telling the police she had been set up. As it turns out, Amy's baking company and the Bouzaglos had already made a bit of a name for themselves locally in the Phoenix, Arizona area before they ever appeared on Kitchen Nightmares. When chatting with Chef Ramsay, Amy brought up one particular reviewer on Yelp who, as she saw it, set off what would eventually snowball into a full-on, coordinated attack against the couple and their eatery. The reviewer, Joel Latondras, an IT professional who also blogged about dining spots around Phoenix, found himself at a strip mall on a Saturday evening in July 2010. Hungry after a long day with little to eat, Joel paused outside Amy's baking company. Next door, Peta Jungle was bustling with customers, but Joel hesitated, considering whether to join the crowd there or venture into Amy's. Since he was curious about Amy's pizza, Joel decided to go to ABC. When he gets to the door, he notices a sign advertising all sorts of jobs available at the restaurant. An experienced line cook, a dishwasher, a waitress, you name it. Shrugging it off, he went inside to find it surprisingly empty for a weekend, with only a few guests around. He chooses to sit on the empty patio, enjoying the solitude. He orders a margarita pizza, but is disappointed when it arrives. The crust lacked flavor and seemed too sweet, almost store-bought. The tomatoes were bland, and the other ingredients didn't impress him either. After a few bites, Joel was done. He sat waiting for the waitress to come back and refill his drink, but ended up waiting a long time. Finally, the owner, Sammy, came out to the patio and asked, "How'd you like your pizza?" Joel responded, "Well, it didn't really taste fresh." Sammy quickly replied, No, our pizzas are the best. Ask our customers. You're the first person since we've opened ever not like our pizzas." Sammy got defensive about the pizza, but Joel hadn't said anything too harsh. He just mentioned that he didn't like it. Then Joel sat there with his empty glass. It started to feel like they didn't want him around. Sammy wouldn't look at him, and the waitress never returned to see if he wanted anything else. His drink was never refilled. Joel went inside, paid his bill, and left. No one said sorry, and they didn't offer any discounts. Nothing. He thought the sign on the door should say, "Wanted, new owner." Within 24 hours of Joel's Yelp review going live, Amy fired back with her response on August 2nd, 2010. This was a spark that set it all off, the review that was heard around the world. "Dear Joel L., it is blatantly obvious to me why you were alone on a Saturday night. Read any of the reviews written about us and you will see that everyone loves us. The only people that don't is our competition. We knew that you had been sent by another restaurant before you even ordered your $14 pizza. My dough is made fresh every day from 100% organic ingredients. Perhaps your palate is not sophisticated enough to tell the difference. As for you having the patio all to yourself, unless you have been living on another planet, it is summertime in Arizona, moron. Only tramps and losers want to sit outside in 110-degree temperatures. If $14 is too much for an amazing pizza, then perhaps you should go to Peta Jungle. If you get lucky, maybe you can even dig up someone to take with you so you can share a $5 falafel. Do us a favor and keep your ugly face and your ugly opinions to yourself, and go back to the restaurant that you really work at." That same day, Amy's response was noticed by Ciao Bella, a blog from the Phoenix Times newspaper. Amy then posted in the comments of the blog section, "This reviewer, Joel L., clearly had it out for us before he even tasted our food. I do believe he was sent by our competition, or by someone who was trying to hurt us." Joel then took the time to respond to Amy's comment on the Ciao Bella blog. "Enough already. You can attack me personally all you want, but those that know me know that what you're saying is far from the truth. Since my waitress or your husband refused to come back outside to offer me something else, or deliver my check, you personally ran my credit card and took my tip to the waitress." 2 days after that, on August 4th, a local TV news station picks up on the story.
The pizza that sparked thousands of words.
He is a stupid guy. This is what he is, no more than that.
Joel Tondras, an IT worker who writes a recipe blog and likes to eat out, ordered a margarita pizza at Amy's Baking Company in Scottsdale.
I don't think the pizza was Joel's pizza by any means that I've had. It was just how unwelcome I felt in the restaurant.
What happened after can only be described as a virtual war of words.
I am not going to lay down and let people write whatever they want to write about me.
She posted her own response on Yelp in which she likened Joel to a tramp and a loser, writing, "Do us a favor and keep your ugly face and your ugly opinions to yourself."
If somebody comes here and tries to attack me or harass us, I am going to fight and stand up for what I believe in 100% in my company.
But when Amy shot back online accusing Joel of working for a competitor, people took note. And although many have now vowed to never eat at ABC, Amy and Sammy say those people won't be missed.
They're going to be best crumbs, those, vagabonds, you call them in French. We don't need them.
Over the next few days, several new reviews appeared on the restaurant's Yelp page. Some were positive, while others echoed the negative sentiment expressed in Joel's review. One Yelper claimed that the owners were messaging her, asking her to prove she had dined there by showing her a receipt. When she mentioned that her visit was over a year ago, Sammy replied, "It's interesting that you said you were here last year, when we were closed." Yelp reviews for Amy's Baking Company in 2009 showed a noticeable absence, suggesting the restaurant remained closed for a year. Why were they closed for an entire year? Let's examine Amy's backstory to find an answer. Amy, whose real name is Amanda Patricia Kirkham, was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, to parents Calvin, also known as Jake, and Tamara Ann Kirkham. her parents were relatively young when they got married. The wedding occurred on her father's 19th birthday in December 1969, while her mother was only 17. In November of the following year, the couple had their first daughter, Lisa. Unfortunately, the marriage didn't last long, as a divorce was filed on July 11, 1972, according to the Salt Lake City Daily Record. Amy was born on April 20th, 1973, precisely 9 months and 13 days after the divorce filing. Following her parents' separation, Tamara took Lisa and the young Amy. She relocated to Arizona, hoping to start a new chapter in their lives and build a better future for herself and her daughters. Her mother was an artist, and Amy frequently mentions her as a significant source of inspiration, crediting her for nurturing her creativity and passion from a young age. Tragically, in 1981, when Amy was just 8 years old, her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. As her mother's condition worsened, Amy left school to become her caregiver. It was during this challenging time that Amy learned to bake, preparing treats for her ailing mother. Amy's father met a tragic end, passing away in a construction accident in 1991 at the young age of 40, a devastating blow to his loved ones. Amy was just 18 years old at the time. Just 3 years after her father's untimely death, Amy's mother also passed away in 1994 after a prolonged battle with cancer. At the tender age of 20, Amy grappled with the immense grief of losing both her parents. She and her mother shared a profound bond. Losing her at such a young age, so soon after her father's passing, was devastating for Amy and would shape her future. By then, Amy had already tied the knot with her first husband, Kenneth Lee Bossingham. Ken, an MBA graduate 8 years her senior, worked in the gaming industry. The couple lived in California, settling northeast of San Francisco. Not long after losing her mother, Amy received devastating news. She had precancerous cells and would need to undergo a total hysterectomy. The procedure made her realize a heartbreaking truth: she could never have children. Court documents reveal that during Amy's recovery from the surgery, she made a shocking discovery. Her husband had been unfaithful, engaging in an extramarital affair that had resulted in the birth of a child with his mistress. Despite the betrayal and the deep emotional wounds it inflicted, the same source indicates that Amy tried to salvage her marriage and work through the challenges with her husband. The couple moved to Denver, Colorado, where, in 1997, Amy ran the Pony Espresso and Bake Shop in Denver's then up-and-coming Golden Triangle district. In the late 90s, with the impressive new downtown library addition just completed, the area was starting its transformation from a landscape of empty parking lots and bail bond shops to a vibrant mix of art galleries, boutique stores, and independent cafes like Amy's. This is the building that housed the Pony Espresso and Bake Shop. Local news at the time mentioned the arrival of the new coffee shop, saying Amy brought more than her sunny disposition from San Francisco. A month later, a local food critic reviewed it in a piece called "It's Far Beyond Burgers for Downtown Sandwich Trade." The review praised the place for its unique offerings, such as sandwiches served on spicy red chili Asiago bread or the Thai chicken salad. He gave it an A- score. In the late 90s, a movement known as the Urban Renaissance reversed the trend of people leaving city centers for the suburbs. One area that experienced this revitalization was the Golden Triangle Civic Center in Denver. As crime rates dropped and people sought out the vibrancy and convenience of urban living, the area's newfound popularity fueled a surge in new developments to meet the growing demand. Just across the street from the Pony Espresso Cafe, the Belvedere Tower, a neoclassical high-rise condominium, began to take shape in the late 90s. The ongoing construction projects surrounding the cafe decreased foot traffic, making the area less accessible and appealing to potential customers. At the same time, Amy's marriage to Ken was breaking down. According to court documents, Pony Espresso's financial woes were due to Ken's mismanagement of the funds. The Belvedere Tower completed construction in 2000. Its grand stature and impressive height loomed over the surrounding buildings, casting a shadow on the quaint Pony Espresso Cafe below. Once a prominent fixture in the neighborhood, the cafe now seems small and insignificant compared to the towering behemoth. The Belvedere Tower's sheer scale and grandeur served as a testament to the changing landscape of the Golden Triangle, symbolizing the rapid growth and transformation that the area had undergone in recent years. When the building was completed, following several years of construction and road closures, its legacy was debated amongst residents. An article from early 2000 quoted the Pony Espresso's manager as saying, "The construction has killed us. It has cut our business by 38%. Amy also tried to file for bankruptcy protection because of her business woes, but the motion was denied. By this point, Amy's marriage had ended, resulting in divorce. Compounding her struggles, Amy's financial situation also deteriorated as she faced several civil judgments in 1998 and 1999 from unpaid debts turned over to collection agencies. These judgments amounted to approximately $14,000. Her situation worsened the following year when she was sued for $3,229. The Pony Espresso Cafe, unable to weather the challenges, closed its doors permanently shortly after. Several other coffee shops subsequently occupied the space, but none established a lasting presence. After remaining vacant for a period, the building was transformed and repurposed into a tanning studio, which continues to operate at the location to this day. Meanwhile, Amy's ex-husband, Ken, moved on with his life. He remarried in 2001 and achieved a prominent position as a senior vice president for IGT, a gaming company headquartered in Nevada. Amy, meanwhile, had hit rock bottom. Her once thriving business had crumbled. Her marriage had ended in a bitter divorce, and both her parents had passed away, leaving her utterly alone. To make matters worse, she would eventually find herself estranged from her sister, their relationship fractured perhaps beyond repair. With no one to turn to, Amy spiraled into a deep depression, contemplating ending her own life. Desperate for a change, Amy left behind the painful memories of Colorado and started anew in Los Angeles. Yet her hopes for a brighter future quickly dimmed as she was entangled with a group of criminals who introduced her to a world of illegal activities. She was tempted with promises of easy money, convincing her she could also profit from their illicit schemes. On August 16, 2001, Amy nervously entered the M&I Bank, armed with a stolen identity and a social security number belonging to an unsuspecting woman. With trembling hands, she applied for a $15,000 loan under a false name, hoping to alleviate her financial burdens. The consequences of Amy's actions caught up with her in May 2002, when a warrant for her arrest was issued under her legal name, Amanda Patricia Bossingham. On October 10, 2002, Amy was apprehended in Santa Monica, California, and her case was promptly transferred to Arizona. As a condition of her release, Amy was required to surrender her passport, restrict her travel, and post a substantial $50,000 bail. Despite her pleas, the court decided to deny Amy's request to travel to Las Vegas. With the weight of the evidence against her, Amy entered a guilty plea in November 2003. In a surprising turn of events, the judge granted Amy permission to relocate to Las Vegas to live with Samy Bouzaglo just days after that, a decision that seemed to contradict the court's earlier stance on her travel restrictions. The couple planned to get married, but there was a complication. Sammy was still married to his first wife. Sammy had married her 8 months prior, in March 2003, but their divorce wasn't finalized until January 7, 2004. Just 4 days later, on January 11th, Sammy and Amy married. In June 2004, Amy was sentenced to 14 months in jail, followed by supervised release for 36 months, along with paying restitution of $36,294.95. Amy utilized the appeal process to postpone the start of her sentence by a few years. According to court documents, she donated her time and money to various organizations at that time, such as the St. Nicholas Youth Organization and the Fraternal Order of Police. Besides her legal troubles, Amy actively participated in the Arizona Republican Party, dedicating significant time as a volunteer during the 2006 elections. Her involvement in the political scene was further highlighted in 2005, when she was selected as one of the 250 individuals to serve on the Republican Presidential Task Force in Arizona. It's worth noting that in the following presidential election 2008, Arizona Senator John McCain secured the Republican nomination. As the housing market shifted, Sammy, who had been working as a custom house builder, changed course. He claimed to have invested $1 million of his own money into the establishment of Amy's Baking Company, which opened its doors in 2007. The restaurant opened to mostly good reviews, but they noted the prices were a little steep and the best thing was the desserts. Meanwhile, in court, Amy's defense argued that she had turned her life around by then. Several reference letters from people who knew Amy were submitted to support this claim. As such, her attorneys fought for a reduction in her sentence, urging the court to lower it to 12 months of home confinement. However, the judge denied Amy's request to modify her sentence and ordered her to report to prison on October 7, 2008. Throughout 2009, Amy's baking company remained closed, with a sign on the door stating that Amy was dealing with a health situation. The official word was that she was undergoing back surgery. Amy was released from prison in October 2009 and reopened Amy's baking company not long after. Joel's infamous review was written during the summer of 2010. He was not alone in criticizing the restaurant, as more negative reviews mentioning poor service and food quality surfaced. Amy and Samy often responded directly to the reviewers, and their writing style usually indicated who was behind each response. They would sometimes post and respond from each other's accounts. This particular response sounded more like Amy's voice. Amy's distinctive and often confrontational interactions with reviewers quickly earned her the nickname Crazy Amy B in the Phoenix area. Someone even created a parody Twitter account using that moniker, highlighting the impact of her online presence. The parody account, which still exists, was created in August 2010, shortly after the now infamous review was published. In the week following the review, the account tweeted around 15 times, taking satirical jabs at Amy and her behavior. Interestingly, the last post from this account was made in December, coinciding with the month the Kitchen Nightmares episode featuring Amy's baking company was filmed. The hashtag CrazyAmyB began trending on Twitter following her response to the Yelp review. As we can see, Amy's online reputation had already begun to shape well before her appearance on the reality TV show. As Amy's online reputation grew due to her confrontational interactions with reviewers and the creation of her Crazy Amy B parody Twitter account, online commenters began to delve deeper into her past, revealing her criminal history as a convicted felon. This discovery added a new layer to her already controversial image and raised questions about her character and restaurant management. Soon after, she began referring to her critics as the Camel Toe Mafia, targeting those who worked for competitors or were associated with Yelp. During the Christmas 2010 season, a local newspaper featured Amy's baking company, saying you could take home what Amy describes as the perfect gingerbread man. He's quiet, he's sweet, and if he gives you any grief, you can bite his head off. $10 for an 8-inch cookie. Bad reviews followed throughout much of 2011 and 2012. Looking back at these old posts written over a decade ago, one can see the origins of Amy and Sammy's online attitude that would later explode after their appearance on Kitchen Nightmares. The couple's combative responses to negative reviews and propensity to lash out at critics were already forming during this period, setting the stage for the following controversy. Soon, Amy and Samy claimed that the Kitchen Nightmares producers had contacted them through a casting company about filming an episode at their restaurant. The couple thought, why not? They viewed it as a chance to end the online bullies, trolls, and the so-called Camel Toe Mafia once and for all. With the show's massive audience, they believed they could set the record straight and clear their names. Before Amy's baking company made their on-screen debut, the Kitchen Nightmares crew stopped by to shoot a submission video for the show.
Love you. He's nice. He's crazy. He's insane.
In the Kitchen Nightmares submission video, when Jessica still worked there, she and Amy pointed out Sammy's lack of customer service experience as the main issue holding the restaurant back. He's not great at handling the front of the house, and his temper doesn't help either.
My husband is too nervous in the front of the house.
Doesn't really have a customer service background in any way, shape, or form.
The staff even mentioned some of the strict rules that they had to follow while working at Amy's baking company, hinting at a pretty tense work environment thanks to Amy and Sammy's attitudes.
This is the first kitchen I've ever worked in where we're not really allowed to talk to each other.
Stop talking, everyone, stop, get out, no talking.
The video gives a glimpse into what's happening behind the scenes and sets the stage for what Gordon Ramsay will probably tackle when he shows up.
If you don't come in and spend $100 at least, it's like, I don't need you.
Spectacular! My food is the best, I'm telling you.
Scottsdale, nicknamed Snobsdale, and dubbed the Beverly Hills of the Desert by the New York Times, is known for its country clubs, golf courses, and high-end shopping. It's a haven for those who enjoy showcasing their wealth and status, but there's more to the city than its reputation. The production schedule for the Kitchen Nightmares episode at Amy's Baking Company was set to span 4 days, from Saturday, December 8th to Tuesday, December 11th, 2012. The Saturday night segment was filmed before Chef Gordon Ramsay's arrival, likely to capture the restaurant's normal operations and set the stage for his impending visit. Ramsay arrived at Amy's Baking Company on Sunday, December 9th, when he first met the owners, Amy and Sammy.
Hey, chef!
The next day, Monday, December the 10th, Ramsay walked out of the restaurant, choosing not to return to relaunch the restaurant scheduled for the 4th and final day of filming, Tuesday, December 11th. A Yelp review from someone claiming to be at the filming on the second night was posted on December 13th. While she liked the food, she said the service left much to be desired. She also noted that it seems the owners are skimming from the waitresses' tips, and that Amy then came out to add that the cameras weren't around to see the waitresses when they were just standing around, as if that were a good enough excuse for the tipping controversy. Before finishing off by stating that the waitresses are scared, underappreciated young girls, just trying to make it through the night. Overall, there wasn't too much talk of what went down during filming yet. Reviews were still mixed between the taping and the airing of the episode. A Yelp reviewer says he got into a nasty argument with Sammy, who told him, if you don't like it here, just go to Peta Jungle instead. The reviewer took Sammy's advice and went to Peta Jungle, where he had a pretty good meal. He figured next time he'd skip Amy's altogether and head straight over to the neighboring business instead. This reviewer shared their experience of being denied service by Sammy at an empty restaurant due to not having a reservation. Sammy reluctantly offered them a seat, but his attitude put off the reviewer, who decided to dine at Peta Jungle instead, enjoying a delicious grilled veggie salad. Amy's Baking Company appeared on another television show 2 months after filming Kitchen Nightmares, and 3 months before its air date. This time, they were featured on Check Please Arizona, a restaurant review series aired on PBS.
The concept of our restaurant is mainly farm fresh organic food made from scratch.
And slowly, Amy's teaching herself, and then we start to do pizza, and we become very, very good on the pizzas.
People ask us all the time what our style is, and my husband's answer is, it's Amy's style.
You can use it as a fine dining and as casual. Our menu, it's everything.
It's overwhelming. The pastry cases are right there in front of you. And there's got to be at least 50 different pastries. So
it's just overwhelming when you first get in there. The ambiance is really nice.
And it's got the black chandeliers and the black tablecloths and
checkerboard floor,
right.
Which is a neat touch.
It really is.
The menu there is so extensive that you really have a hard time choosing any one thing.
Spicy red pepper ravioli. And the first bite you took was sweet. And then the punch came, and it was a wonderful combination.
I tried the peanut butter creme brulee cake. Oh my goodness, was that fine. And again,
if you would like to try Amy's Pizzeria Bakery Bistro Bar, reservations are accepted.
Many reviewers were unimpressed with the Check Please Arizona episode featuring Amy's Baking Company. Some called it a total puff piece, saying it glossed over all the real issues. The show didn't mention anything about the crazy long wait times or the constant yelling and screaming coming from the kitchen. And there was hardly any criticism of the restaurant or the owners, except for one reviewer who mentioned that one of the dishes could have used a little more punch. Local news outlets started buzzing about the upcoming Kitchen Nightmares episode featuring Amy's Baking Company. This was a big deal because it was the first time the show had ever come to Arizona. They announced that the events from the December taping would soon be revealed, hinting at the dramatic nature of what had unfolded. Due to a unique scheduling situation, the episode featuring Amy's Baking Company aired in Canada a whole week before being broadcast in the United States. This meant that Canadian viewers were the first to witness and react to the events that unfolded during the filming. Their response would serve as a preview of what would come when the episode finally aired in the US. Amy herself can shed light on what that experience was like.
They aired it in Canada first, and so all of a sudden we have all of these beloved customers from Canada. We love Canadians, and I start receiving all of these telephone calls from Canada, Saskatchewan, from these people telling us to go F ourselves and we're psychotic and go kill ourselves, and we're like, what the hell is wrong with you? The Canadians are so nice, what's wrong with you? So we were like, oh my God, if this is the feedback we get from the show, it's going to be pretty tough.
After Amy tweeted announcing their appearance on the upcoming episode, negative comments from Canadian users began rolling in the week before the show aired in the US. Fox planned the episode as the season finale of the 6th season. Over 3 million people across America watched as it premiered on Friday, the 10th of May, 2013.
And they're delicious. We stand strong together. We have to, because there's a lot of online bullies and haters and bloggers.
It's coming. You want to wait, you wait. You don't want, then what did you have to do from?
And the right thing for me is to get out of here. Good luck.
The episode's impact was unparalleled, generating a firestorm of online activity and discussion unlike anything previously seen. In just 7 minutes, there were 265 comments, mostly variations on calling the owners crazy. 20 minutes later, there were 1,000 comments, and it multiplied from there. People across the country took to Yelp, Facebook, Reddit, and other websites to express their disgust with the Bouzaglos, who soon became the most trending couple in America.
Hundreds of people are turning to social media to voice their anger.
There were threats, nasty online messages. People just could not believe how this couple treated their customers.
Basically calling them batshit crazy.
Everyone was under the consensus that these people were not particularly normal.
They're Amy's Baking Company.
No soup for you!
The restaurant temporarily closed following the episode's airing. The couple claimed the decision was made after receiving threats to their own safety. The official Amy's Baking Company Facebook page quickly got over 70,000 likes the week after the episode aired in May, as angry posters took to airing their grievances. They went on to a peak 100 score in terms of internet search interest at the time. After a weekend of angry messages sent their way, Amy and Sammy responded with a Facebook post of their own. "Sammy and I will stand strong through the oppression that has been thrown at us. Thank all of you, and thank God. We will not bend to the will of these haters and sinners." They lashed out aggressively at critics and online bullies on their Facebook page, but this only fanned the flames of outrage. The haters multiplied across Reddit and Yelp, piling on with harsh comments and overwhelmingly negative reviews. The Reddit forum Cringe Pics were one of the first to pick up on the discussion about Amy's Baking Company's meltdown and whether the baked goods were store-bought, countering Amy's claim to being made from scratch. Online posters also questioned the legitimacy of the photos on their Facebook page, saying they had been lifted from the internet. "I am not stupid, all of you are. You just do not know good food. It is not uncommon to resell things," was Amy's next post. "America is about reselling. It is not a big deal. The cakes we offer are expensive because we have to repackage and ship." One poster who said you can't repackage goods to resell got a response from Amy. She said, "Yes, I can. I only lied to Gordon Ramsay because he is not American. He does not understand how it works." Amy and Sammy soon discovered Reddit, mainly the Cringe Pics Reddit thread that had quite a bit devoted to them, and began monitoring it. "To Reddit, I forbid you from spreading your hate on that site. This is my Facebook, and I am not allowing you to use my company on your hate-filled page." You can tell it is Amy who is posting when it is all in caps. When it is Sammy posting, there is less punctuation and little to no capitalization, such as this one. "To all the Yelpers and Reddits, bring it on. Come to my business. Say it to my face, man to man. My wife is a jewel in the desert. You are just trash. Reddits and Yelpers are just working together to bring us down." Some did go to Amy's Baking Company and were greeted by Sammy.
All of you. Okay. Tell them. Serious? Yes. Is opening fire. This is what I call it. Internet war.
I understand, sir. I appreciate it. It takes two to have a war.
Then Sammy has a public meltdown on Facebook. "This is Sammy," the poster wrote. "I am keeping note of all names here. We will be pursuing action against you legally and against Reddit and Yelp for this plot you have come together on. You are all just punks." Amy followed up with, "We are not freaking out. We do not care about a witch hunt. I am not a witch. I am God's child. F Reddits and F Yelp, and F all of you. Bring it." BuzzFeed famously called it the most epic brand meltdown on Facebook ever. On Tuesday, May 14, 2013, After a weekend full of angry online posts, the couple claimed that their Facebook, Yelp, Twitter, and website had been hacked, all simultaneously at the same time. A statement was released saying the local authorities and the FBI Computer Crimes Unit were now investigating.
You are all little punks. Nothing. You are nothing. Most have so many F-bombs they can't be repeated, but all are hurling insults.
Hi, we'd just like to talk to you about what's been...
You can't film us. You cannot film us.
Would you like to comment on your Facebook post?
I'm not making those. Someone has hacked into our account. The FBI is involved.
This story gets even more bizarre.
No,
I know, she won't leave. Okay, she won't leave.
Co-owner Sammy wants to say a few words.
They hack to our Facebook, Twitters, everything, But there is nicer people also. There is smart. I know I'm talking.
Sammy, you
there
cannot
is
talk to them. You do not have permission.
I'm not talking about kitchen nightmare.
The local police did confirm that the case was being investigated. The FBI refuses to comment on such situations. The couple later sat down with a local TV film crew for an interview about the claimed hacking incident.
I went into our Facebook and I saw these posts and these timeline posts and I freaked out. I said, oh my God, we did not write these. I tried to delete them and I couldn't.
So the post using profanity?
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing negatively have I said.
In many of the comments made on the couple's Facebook page, they mentioned that Amy is a criminal. Well, that's true. She does have a record. She pled guilty to bank fraud back in 2003. We asked her about it tonight. She did not hide it. She said she pled guilty, served her time, and has since moved on. She said she wanted
to compound their problems, Katie, the server that Amy wanted to fire for questioning her orders before she quit, took part in a Reddit Ask Me Anything. In this thread, users could ask her anything about her experience working at Amy's baking company. It quickly grew to almost 7,000 comments and counting. When asked what the craziest thing Katie saw while working there was, she said the first night of taping when Sammy laid his hands on that customer, the producers had to pay for everyone's meal because all the diners were escorted out during service. She said neither Amy nor Sammy's actions were staged for the cameras. Some diners may have purposely sent back dishes, but other than that, everything was 100% real. You may recall that Chef Ramsay gave Miranda a tip to keep as he left. Katie says it was $20 that Gordon tipped her on his way out. Katie went back to the plaza where Amy's baking company was located a few weeks before the AMA and noted that Amy's had only 3 small tables full while Peta Jungle was packed. When asked if it was legal for them to keep her tips, she said she didn't know the answer. She agreed to take $8 hourly as a flat rate instead of tips. The same day, May 15th, a petition is filed on change.org asking the U.S. Department of Labor to open an investigation of the restaurant owners for taking tips from the servers. And a few days later, the campaign confirmed that an investigation had been opened with the Department of Labor in Arizona. Also on May 15th, the couple announced that they had hired a well-known public relations firm to handle the brand's crisis and announced the grand relaunch of Amy's Baking Company, to be held the following week on May 21st. The PR firm they hired was Jason Rose's well-known company, Rose, Moser & Allen. This firm is renowned for its work with many prominent figures, such as former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who styled himself as America's toughest sheriff and was known for his tough stance on crime. The press release says the owners will answer falsehoods depicted on a reality television show, including assertions that the restaurant confiscates servers' tips. Customers can decide if Gordon Ramsay is correct or the marketplace that has supported the small, locally owned business for 6 years. Seating is limited. Tickets could be obtained through their PR agency.
Tonight, the kitchen's closed as the owners prepare for another grand opening. We're hearing another side of that story as well.
Customers weren't allowed in, but I was, around back without the camera. Owners Amy and Samy Bouzaglo told me they've hired a public relations firm and are planning a grand reopening. But across the way, we met a woman who'd rather not return to Amy.
None of it was scripted. I think they just want to see if Amy's going to have the same reaction, if she's going to have another meltdown.
On May 21st, Amy's will host its reopening celebration. Their PR team calls it a chance for people to experience the couple and their food for themselves.
I think it's going to be another Kitchen Nightmares round 2.
Staff at Amy say they will donate some of the proceeds to a charity that works on educating people about cyberbullying.
Tickets for the grand reopening event sold out quickly, with the restaurant claiming they received over 1,500 reservations. To handle the surge of customers, Sammy and Amy said they had more than 60 job applicants over the weekend and hired 9 new employees, none of whom had seen the Kitchen Nightmares episode. There were claims that tickets to the grand reopening were readily available online, allowing people from outside the state to purchase them. According to the site Radar Online, some individuals reportedly resold these tickets on eBay for as much as $200 each.
It's the hottest restaurant in Scottsdale. No one can get a table at Amy's Baking Company.
They're closed.
Not this Mesa couple or this Canadian.
I was kind of want to be open for the entertainment purposes. So.
You wanted to go in and eat?
I did not want to go in and eat, but I definitely, the desserts look good.
Outside, the number of gawkers was growing.
You can't buy this kind of advertising.
Amy and Sammy gave a Phoenix radio station interview to Monte Carlo, who knows a little bit about Gordon Ramsay as she was a contestant on the 3rd season of MasterChef.
I'm not proud of my behavior on that show, and I'm very sad that the whole world had to see me have a meltdown against people that had been bullying me for 3 years.
How did you guys get involved with Kitchen Nightmares?
Kitchen Nightmares put something on Yelp, asking the Yelp community who in Phoenix needs our help the most. It was overwhelming that we needed their help. So they contacted us and asked us if we would be a part of the show. We responded by telling them we were huge fans of the show. We loved the concept of the show. The only problem we've ever had negative is with these online bullies and with these people from Yelp. And they told us they were coming to help, and we believed them.
There is a petition on change.org with over 30,000 signatures requesting that you stop taking your servers' tips. Is that a practice of yours?
Never. We don't even have servers. We have bussers and runners, and those people are paid anywhere from $8 to $14 an hour.
Are you thinking about hiring a wait staff?
Of course, I would love, and I'm offering $5 an hour, and they can keep all their tips. I will pay better than any other restaurant. If they get $4.25, I give $5, and I can keep all their tips. But they have to do their jobs, not watch me how I run by myself.
You know, this is very important. I mean, we've received death threats from people online because of this. They called us last night at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock in the morning, threatening to kill us. All of the local authorities have been amazing.
They then did another interview later that day with ABC 15 Arizona.
Oh my God, what has happened here? This is going to ruin our life. I didn't want to leave my house. I wanted to crawl underneath my bed. We learned not to say negative things anymore on the web. We've learned our lesson.
They're referring to their social media reaction years ago to an unfavorable review. This time, they say it wasn't them.
We don't know. I can tell you that I have filed all of the appropriate paperwork. My accounts were hacked, and they are still to this day currently being hacked.
At a Sunday job fair, they're now offering a more customary $5 an hour plus tips, hoping to staff their re-grand opening this week.
We welcome the people that doubt us. I don't want the world to know me as crazy or the names that they've been calling me at all. That's not who I am.
On May 20th, 2013, the planned press conference was abruptly canceled the day before it was set to take place, and media outlets were barred from the restaurant. The PR firm says the couple would not be giving interviews and received a letter from the law firm representing Kitchen Nightmares, which stated, "If you disparage the show, its host, or its producers, you will breach your obligations under the agreement you signed before going on the show, potentially exposing you to damages of $100,000 each." Moreover, the PR company announced it would no longer represent Amy's Baking Company. Despite this setback, the grand reopening was still scheduled to take place the following day, May 21st, 2013. Although the restaurant claimed to have 1,500 reservations, attendees at the reopening event reported sparse crowds, showing that many of the tickets acquired online were likely by individuals who did not intend to attend. Amy's Baking Company began serving those with reservations at 5 p.m., employing security guards to prevent curious onlookers, media personnel, and others without reservations from entering the establishment.
Oh, you need a reservation. Is it reservations only? Oh, really?
The patio area was closed for security reasons. The restaurant had a sign warning that anyone who disrupted their business in any way would have security escort them away. They even went after Mr. Scribbs, the beloved mascot for a local pizza parlor, who held up a sign saying he loved his customers and would never hit them. Inside, photos from the reopening night show a lively crowd. One of the new waitresses looked somewhat nervously at the crowd, while Sammy can be seen working the POS system in the background. we catch a glimpse of a frantic-looking Amy hustling to keep up with the reopening orders. A tired-looking Sammy poses for a photo with a couple at one table. The relaunch may not have been the only thing exhausting him, though. That morning, the Arizona Republic and 12 News dropped a bombshell report stating that Sammy is involved with a U.S. immigration and customs enforcement case and has a criminal past.
Samy Bouzaglo in person.
No.
Why is the government trying to deport you, sir? Why is the government trying to deport you, sir?
Everybody, out!
He and wife Amy Bouzaglo were reopening Amy's baking company in Scottsdale on Monday. How much longer will Samy Bouzaglo be around?
It's not your problem. It's nobody's problem.
Why were you in immigration court?
It's not your problem. It's not your problem.
The removal process has been going on for more than 2 years, the attorney says.
The story is known already 20 years ago. 30 years ago it's known.
The deportation case appears to stem from Bouzaglo's record in Europe. Shows Bouzaglo may be under ICE investigation because he did not disclose his past on his U.S. immigration petition. The record also shows that France and Germany no longer allow Bouzaglo into their countries. Was that your convictions in Europe? After giving us the international salute, Bouzaglo hailed the cops and ended the interview by having police remove us from the property.
Okay, where's security? Can you take them out from here, please? Can you take them?
Some fans speculate that Sammy's criminal past and deportation are why he didn't want Amy to call the cops.
Sammy, call the police.
Shut the police! Where is Amy?
I'm in the office.
Don't call the police, you crazy? Where's the pizza?
It's in the oven. He can suck it.
You!
Call the police.
Take the money. No, I want the money from him.
I am calling the police.
Don't. No, he's just calling the police.
I know, but hey, you're not touching him. Get away.
Sammy's lawyer said that his case had nothing to do with kitchen nightmares, as the case began several years before the show aired. Amy tells the Arizona Republic, "We both made mistakes in the past. We have done our time. We know God is with us." Sammy, an Israeli citizen born in Morocco, insists he's maintained a clean criminal record since arriving in the United States in 2000.
Well, just when we thought this controversy was fading, that Valley couple, they're allegedly at it again. And this time, it's actually in response to 3 reporters with the Phoenix Business Journal who say they found some bugs in their drink.
Starting with the martinis they ordered.
He said it wasn't a bug, it was from the lemon. And so we brought over a third drink, and the third drink had 3 bugs in it.
The group laid out the flies for the co-owner to see and snapped this photo of them. Amy wrote in a statement, "We understand that there is a possibility perhaps one fruit fly made its way into the martini. But after the 3rd time of being sent back, we felt that it was a setup."
We didn't plant the bugs in there.
Haley and her co-workers did leave, but still wanted to try a slice of Amy's famous cakes, only to find a fingerprint in the frosting. Amy's response, quote, "I can only hope for their sake whoever did stick their finger in it didn't double dip, because it certainly was not us."
The story has a happy ending, however. After getting kicked out of Amy's, they went to Peta Jungle and had a satisfying meal there. May 31st, 2013, entertainment news website Radar Online reports that the Bouzaglos are considering offers from several production companies to have their own reality TV show focused on them and their restaurant. Their agent says they want to see all the deals on the table before signing with one company. By this point, Amy and Sammy had already created a new Facebook page, having never returned the original one after they claimed it was hacked. Yet it didn't take long for meltdown number 2 to happen. "We are not crazy, you are all the crazy ones," read the Facebook post. Several people began noticing that the bakery's social media photos looked suspiciously like those from other sites. They might be passing off stolen images as their own creations. They claim that a hacker stole the photos from them and then put fake dates on them to make it look like they were copies. June 28, 2013, a copy of the employee contract that new employees must agree to when working at Amy's baking company is leaked. The 20-point mutual agreement between Amy's baking company and its employees reveals shocking workplace rules. One clause states, "Any products, such as food or plates that are broken or burned due to direct negligence, will be taken from your paycheck at ABC's cost." Another controversial rule declares all tips property of the house, with workers agreeing to an hourly rate of $8 to $14 instead. While ABC reportedly changed this policy after the Kitchen Nightmares backlash, this contract was from 2012, before the change. Perhaps most alarming is the holiday policy. Holidays and weekends are mandatory. Any no-show will be monetarily penalized with a fee of $250. The contract also includes a strict non-compete clause, barring former employees from working at competitors within 50 miles for a year. Have a problem with these rules? Don't even think about raising an eyebrow, because any type of attitude will result in immediate termination. The controversy surrounding Amy's Baking Company transformed it into Scottsdale's top tourist attraction for 2013. What began as a local Arizona curiosity quickly escalated into a global sensation, capturing worldwide attention. Tourists and curious onlookers flocked from far and wide to see the infamous strip mall location firsthand. The sidewalk outside the bakery became famous for visitors, who eagerly snapped photos in front of the now famous storefront. The unexpected fame turned this once obscure eatery into a must-see destination, with people going out of their way to witness the sight of the internet's latest obsession. It served as a testament to the power of reality TV and social media in creating instant, albeit infamous, landmarks. We've become the #1 tourist attraction for the summer, only it's like Disneyland for the crazies, owner Amy declares.
Hi!
It wasn't just physical visitors either. The bakery started receiving a barrage of prank phone calls from around the world.
ABC, good evening. This is Special Agent Webster. Our agency has been granted extraordinary powers in the pursuit of threats to national security. I'm sure you're aware of this.
Okay, then what you need from me, sir?
Now that we had reason to monitor the internet usage at your address.
Okay, listen, I'm going to pass you to my wife.
Now the results show that some...
Hello?
Well, you'll get a chance to make a full statement later. I suggest strongly that you cooperate with them. You've just been pranked.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Amy's Baking Company.
I read on review that some of your food is frozen. Is that true?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe everything that you read online? If so, I have a beautiful piece of oceanfront property for sale for you right here in the desert. People tell you to go jump off a cliff. Are you going to do that too because you read it online?
Maybe.
Okay, then I'm going to go write it online, and I hope that you jump off the cliff, okay?
Okay. It's going on YouTube.
Despite the media frenzy and pranksters, Amy's Baking Company had a loyal following that often went unnoticed. Many genuine fans who had watched the infamous episode traveled to Scottsdale, hoping to meet Amy and Sammy. While Amy frequently stayed in the kitchen, visitors often interacted with Sammy, who became the public face of the establishment. His charismatic presence and willingness to engage with customers made him a focal point for many visitors. Occasionally, Amy would emerge to greet patrons, delighting fans who eagerly took photos with her. These sincere supporters added an intriguing layer to the saga, showing that despite widespread criticism, the restaurant had cultivated a group of devoted fans who appreciated what the Bouzaglos were trying to achieve. They genuinely enjoy meeting their supporters by the looks of it, too. Well, except for this guy. Amy does not look too thrilled to be meeting him. Perhaps the Union Jack reminds her of Chef Ramsay. Despite the initial surge of attention, Amy's Baking Company experienced a noticeable drop in diners over the long, hot Arizona summer, as the Kitchen Nightmares buzz faded. Most of the people eating there were tourists, since not many locals in Scottsdale wanted to visit the restaurant. One such person who went there during that time was travel blogger 1 Mile at a Time, who visited Amy's Baking Company in August 2013. He said the most surprising thing was that the restaurant was completely empty, despite it being Friday at 8 p.m. It was just Sammy standing near the door. While waiting for his order, the guy struggled not to laugh when Sammy told him they went against the whole internet and won. Sammy said, "The entire world knows about me now, and we get the last laugh. We are still around and doing well." Given that they were sitting in an empty restaurant at 8 p.m. on a Friday, did they really win, he thought? To start, he had a caprese salad, which he describes as pretty abysmal. The tomatoes weren't ripe yet, and the mozzarella was really hard, which made for a bad combination. For his main, he chose the pizza margherita, which he also was not impressed with. He said the crust tasted like a microwaved frozen pie crust. Before he left, Sammy told him that in 2 to 3 weeks, they would have their own reality show, although Sammy specified that they hadn't chosen a specific network yet. In addition to the reality show, the couple sought other ways to cash in on their newfound infamy. August 2013 also saw their very own merchandise line launch, available exclusively on their website. Fans could snag $30 t-shirts or baseball caps sporting infamous catchphrases from the show. To promote this collection, they staged a slick photo shoot. Picture this: Amy sporting a sorta neo-gothic look, modeling their controversial merch. Was this their ticket to lasting notoriety, or was it just another stunt gone wrong? On October 3, 2013, the couple posted an advert on their Facebook page saying they are currently hiring/casting servers for their upcoming reality show. Applicants are instructed to send a headshot, current photo, and resume. Isn't it against the law to ask for a headshot or a photo with resumes? Was one response. A month later, in an interview with Totally Driven Radio, the couple shared an update on the reality TV situation.
After the show came out, we were approached by a lot of really professional production companies from England to Hollywood to New York City. Ended up going with Irwin Entertainment. For the last 4 months, we have been working in development with them. However, they are just now shooting a show that they were in development with over a year ago. We canceled the contract with them, and we are currently not under production or under contract with any production company. The reality show, it's a work in progress. We will have a reality show. We're trying to decide now which direction we're going to take it. Do we want to go in the direction of just having like Food Network, where we just want to do a cooking and baking show, or do we want to do like a full-blown reality TV where the cameras are completely inside our ass, capturing every single moment of our day?
Shortly after disclosing the collapse of their deal with the production company, they revealed they had taped a segment for the Dr. Phil show, which was scheduled to be broadcast in early 2014. A chaotic year would come to a close with Amy and Samy making eBoss Watch's list of America's Worst Bosses for 2013. They were number 6 on the list overall. The year witnessed Amy's Baking Company's transformation from an Arizona oddity to a global spectacle. What began as a small, contentious eatery became an unexpected focal point of pop culture. Animated parodies and artistic interpretations circulated widely, offering different takes on the bakery's televised incidents, such as a silent film from George and Zola. Theater groups incorporated the story into satirical plays.
How dare you criticize my cooking? I am a child of God!
While social media saw a surge of memes and viral content related to the restaurant, the creative and humorous posts shared by users quickly spread across various platforms, fueling the eatery's sudden rise to online fame.
A lot of online bullies and haters and bloggers. They're dirty, they're lazy. You look disappointed.
These are store-bought crap frozen ravioli.
They're not crap. And
Artists got creative, whipping up bold sketches of Amy and Samy that exaggerated their explosive tempers and captured their most cringeworthy antics, transforming the restaurateurs into larger-than-life caricatures that perfectly encapsulated the absurdity of the unfolding drama. After a tumultuous year, Amy and Samy are eager to put the chaos of 2013 behind them and start fresh. They hope to move forward and leave the past in the rearview mirror as they turn their attention to new ventures and opportunities. In a surprising turn of events, Fox announced that Kitchen Nightmares would revisit Amy's Baking Company in its 7th season premiere, just 2 days after the couple's appearance on Dr. Phil, which was scheduled for February 26, 2014. In an early 2014 interview, the Bouzaglos shared their ambitious counter-offensive plan for the year ahead, vowing to strike back against their critics and naysayers with a bold new strategy to reclaim their reputation.
But this time we are prepared, because this last year we've been building our own army and we've been forming alliances.
Don't know what's coming, wait.
Like what?
A lot, I cannot talk about it. We're going to open our own war.
We are in a war. We've just gone through a battle. I was really believing that Gordon Ramsay was walking through the doors coming to help me with the Yelpers, because that's what they promised they were coming to help us with.
And do you know what? He is the king of those Yelpers. He is the biggest troll, is him, and the biggest bully is Gordon Ramsay.
What if I was Gordon Ramsay sitting right in front of
you? You wouldn't be. You're not allowed.
He's a clown.
He didn't come back
here.
No,
he's nothing. He's just a clown.
No.
Shortly after, reports surfaced that both TV appearances had been postponed. Fox attributed the delay to a scheduling change, but the couple insisted they had influenced the decision. In an email to the Republic, Amy cryptically wrote, "They have begun to realize that they have underestimated my husband and I, and our unwillingness to allow them to exploit us is becoming very clear. Are you lovers or haters?" That's how Samy greeted this reviewer and her friend, who went to Amy's Baking Company and had a bite to eat on the patio after assuring Samy they were on the lovers' side. Overall, they enjoyed the food, but had the same complaints as others. It took too long to be served despite the restaurant being empty, and the prices were too high. She paid $10 for a slice of, albeit delicious, blueberry pie, for example. But it was what Sammy said as they were leaving that caught their attention. There's about to be a war, alluding to what would happen during the new Kitchen Nightmares episode.
Couldn't manage the business like before because I don't know who is the hater. I don't know who is the lover, but most of them, they were lover. They came. I used to attack them in the entrance. Are you lover or are you hater?
Is this how you treat the customers?
You're not customer.
I'm not a customer. I was looking at your menu, dude.
Get out before I call the police. Go.
What the fuck are the cops gonna do?
Go, you motherfucker. You want to go, you motherfucker.
Keep saying it to the camera. YouTube. YouTube. Oh, now get fucking deported, you asshole.
After a delay, the final updated schedules of Dr. Phil and Kitchen Nightmares are released for the 2014 season. The wait is finally over, as Phoenix Times put it. The schedule had the couple appearing on the Dr. Phil show on April 9th, followed by a special episode of Kitchen Nightmares 2 days later on the 11th. The Dr. Phil episode opens with a review of the cruel online comments made by bullies, trolls, and the Camel Toe Mafia toward Amy and Samy. The show then displays some of the hilarious sketches produced by these critics, though their true motives remain unclear.
Saying the most disgusting, vile, horrific things to us. If I was in a room with Hitler, Bin Laden, or the owner of Amy's baking company and I had a gun with 2 bullets, I would shoot the owner, Amy, twice.
Dr. Phil tries reasoning with Amy and Samy, saying that when they engage with online bullies, they give them more power. He advised that when you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences.
Yes, if someone comes to attack us, we're like snakes. You don't mess with a snake in the desert and go poke it.
Still, Amy and Samy were defiant, saying it is not as easy as simply unplugging from the haters when they are prank calling the phones. While prank calls and heated social media exchanges were frustrating, it was arguably Reddit that caused the couple the most distress. On Facebook, Amy and Samy engaged in back-and-forth sparring with users through brief, straightforward interactions. They often got into heated arguments and traded insults with their critics, who were all too eager to respond and fuel the flames of conflict. Unlike the somewhat moderated Yelp review system, which flagged and removed many of the biased reviews left by viewers, Reddit was uncharted territory for both of them. As Amy mentioned in several interviews, they were unfamiliar with the platform.
Reddit.
Oh my God. And I didn't even know what Reddit was.
I didn't know anything about Reddit. I started to look at pictures of kitty cats and aliens, and I was like, why are these people so cute here? And they come after me, they're being so wild and mean. I'm like, no, they don't understand. I'm one of them.
Often referring to it as Reddits, they struggled to navigate the site's expansive and complex landscape. This unfamiliarity may have led them to underestimate the power and influence of the Reddit community.
Reddit is for people that have nothing better to do with their lives. Those people are insane.
You are fat, disgusting losers who probably don't have jobs, or if they do, don't make over $40,000 per year, is how Amy put it in a Facebook rant about the site. The couple didn't understand that Reddit users are a bright, savvy bunch. Many work in tech, networking, and the internet, and many earn six-figure salaries. They're not the basement-dwelling losers or minimum wage slaves that Amy and Samy might have imagined. These folks know their way around the site and how to use it to their advantage. She'd like Reddit if she knew Reddit liked cats as much as she does, one Redditor pointed out. Rather than de-escalating, the couple decided to take their online battle to the far reaches of Reddit. The Reddit community retaliated, using the platform as a central command center for orchestrating pranks and strikes against restaurant owners.
Is that Sammy was going to come to see you soon? You know that? You are a
thing. They call and say, do you have Battletoads?
The "Do you have Battletoads" refers to a notorious troll campaign orchestrated by users on the online platform 4chan in 2007, and then later on to Reddit. They've repeatedly called GameStop stores asking if they had the obscure video game Battletoads for the Nintendo Wii, despite it being an old game initially released for the Nintendo NES in the early 1990s. The relentless prank calls frustrated employees to no end.
How can I help you?
Do you guys have Battletoads?
Excuse me, if you guys continue to call, I will have to report these phone calls to the police. You may think it's funny, but it really isn't.
Battletoads is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Cementing it as one of the most widespread and well-known pranks of the early internet era. The campaign later targeted the famous gold and silver pawn shop featured on the reality TV show Pawn Stars. After the infamous Kitchen Nightmares episode featuring Amy's Baking Company aired, the restaurant also became a target of the Battletoads meme. Pranksters began making Battletoads-related calls to the restaurant, with Amy getting in on the fun by posting this in response. One Redditor even went so far as to take Battletoads for a photo shoot out front of Amy's Baking Company. He's lucky Sammy didn't catch him mucking about, or he might have been in serious trouble. The couple was so frustrated by all the prank calls that they decided to turn the tables on one of the pranksters by posting his phone number on their official Facebook page. The guy got so many phone calls that he had to change his number. But dealing with prank calls was one thing. The fallout from appearing on national television for a second time was another. As mentioned before, the couple's second appearance on Kitchen Nightmares followed 2 days after the airing of the Dr. Phil episode. For the return to Amy's Baking Company episode, Gordon chose not to return to the bakery himself, instead filming his portion from the safety of the Hell's Kitchen set. In his place, he sends Ana Garcia, a reporter for the Crime Watch Daily investigative news program. She appears unannounced at an empty Amy's Baking Company, asking to be let inside.
Hi, Sammy. Ana Garcia from Kitchen Nightmares. How are you?
Kitchen Nightmares?
Yes.
Oh.
Amy initially refuses to talk, while Sammy demands payment for the damage caused by Kitchen Nightmares.
No, you talk to me and I want money, because this time from Kitchen Nightmare I want money. You guys did make so much money because of us.
They believe they were set up and the episode was unfair. Amy thinks the restaurant was filled with yelpers and says they were defending themselves. She claims to be plagued by rogue customers placing fake cockroaches in the restaurant. The couple maintains they were hacked, while Amy says they didn't say those things, even though they could have said them. She says now, though, they won't hold back in the future, and we'll start to say those things. From this point, it will be total, unrestricted warfare going forward.
We didn't say those things. Now we are, because now you have lit the fire inside of us.
As for how the restaurant is doing otherwise, the ravioli is still frozen. But at least now they claim to pay the servers their tips rather than a flat hourly rate. The episode also features some never-before-seen footage that didn't make it to the final cut the first time. It's primarily exchanges between Ramsay and Amy in the kitchen. Ramsay tells her that not enough people have told her the truth and that she is in denial. Amy says she's never had an issue before.
Because your husband doesn't tell you.
No, because I know.
He's scared too.
He's not scared of me. No, that man isn't scared of you. He's not scared of anybody.
It also included more fan-created works parodying the couple, such as the cartoon about Amy's cats. Interestingly, Chef Ramsay refuted Amy's claim, emphasizing that Amy and Sammy had asked him for help, not the other way around. He used their submission tape as evidence to support his point, directly contradicting Amy's version of events.
There is something I want to clear up. They asked me to come and help them.
First thing he wanted to clarify to make everybody else think that we submitted a video asking for his help. He is a liar. He lied on national television. He lied when he said that we reached out to him and asked him for his help. We were contacted by a casting company. They asked us if we wanted to be on the show. The casting company, we were hired by Kitchen Nightmares. We never in a million years would have called Kitchen Nightmares and said, hey, we want to be on your show. They came back and they did a follow-up show without our approval. We didn't even know that they were coming. They just showed up one day and then never got paid for anything. We never gave them our authorization to come in. And now, as a result of everything blowing up, is Gordon Ramsay and all of his GR mules. They have a name, and they're called GR mules, Gordon Ramsay mules. And I don't understand what the deal is, why people look up to him and say, oh, he's a culinary god. We have customers come from Vegas, and they went to his restaurant there, and they're like, oh, my God, your food is so much better than Gordon Ramsay's food. The local community, they haven't supported us. But all of the tourists, they support us. They come from everywhere across the world, and they are wonderful. And they come, they buy T-shirts, and they buy hats, and they stand outside and take pictures. They take their pictures with Sammy and I.
Sammy, I got all this.
I'm the one who's going to speak now. When I see Kitchen Nightmare, I say, whoa, Kitchen Nightmare, welcome, come here. Where is that Where is he? Where is he even now? Where is his boss? And all his bullies. This is Samy Bouzaglo speaking. Is mules.
Gordon Ramsay is getting what is coming to him. It's called karma. Karma is a bitch, and so are we.
That was from the couple's second interview with Totally Driven Radio, which took place in June 2014. Not long after that, Gordon Ramsay announced that after 123 episodes, Kitchen Nightmares was coming to an end. In his statement, Ramsay mentions Amy's Baking Company, Galleria 33, Mama Sherry's, and Bonaparte's as some of his most memorable episodes. Amy was too pleased to announce the show's end during that interview.
The show is over. Kitchen Nightmares is over. They announced on their Facebook page, it's gone. We exposed the show, we blew the lid off of it, and there's no more Kitchen Nightmares. That's it. Really?
Despite Amy and Sammy's apparent desire to move past the drama surrounding their appearance on Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay, Yelp reviews from the summer of 2014 suggest otherwise. While they were still getting hit with prank calls, similar to this one noted by a Yelp reviewer who heard a prankster pretending to be Gordon Ramsay call in.
Hello?
Hi, Sammy. It's Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay? He can go and himself with you together. Can you do that?
No,
the two of you.
It's Gordon.
They also seemed to continue to embrace the controversy surrounding their appearance on the show. Many reviewers noted that Sammy was still loudly discussing Gordon Ramsay in the Kitchen Nightmares episode during their visits to the restaurant. This behavior was a reoccurring issue for the couple. This pattern of behavior wasn't new. Following the initial controversy with Joel's review, other customers reported similar experiences. Reviewers at that time also mentioned Sammy loudly discussing ongoing drama in the dining room, annoying patrons just trying to enjoy their meals. In August 2014, Amy posted a photo with a message for their critics and the caption, "Fighting the Online Bullies." The drama at Amy's Baking Company took a sudden turn in September 2014. What began as an ordinary day quickly escalated, and an eyewitness called 911.
Hi, where are you at? ABC Bistro. It's been frozen up and resolved, but the man came out.
There was a man with a knife?
A man with a knife, I believe, who seemed to be the owner of ABC Bistro.
Is this what used to be the Amy's restaurant or whatever it's called? Or?
I'm not entirely...
That's all right. Did he threaten with the knife?
It sure did seem so. He just came out with it and was waving it around.
It's not worth it. Hey, you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life. Think about what you're doing.
It was the intent of injuring the customer.
Was he going after him with it?
He was about to, but he was restrained by another employee.
Not worth it. It's not worth it.
He's a coward.
They're at it again. The owners of Amy's Baking Company in Scottsdale caught on camera in yet another confrontation, this time TMZ posting video of Samy Bouzaglo threatening to kill a customer with what looks like a knife.
The couple says that what Sammy had in his hand wasn't actually a knife, but one of these, a pen.
The pen is a pen like this, silver pen. That's it. He was drunk. Then it is my right to take out anyone who is drunk. He cannot come here. He came and say, I saw the show. You are piece of He was going just after my wife. And I said, no, I don't want them to touch you. And I have been screaming. Then I'm telling to all those bullies, they're wasting their time.
In another follow-up interview a few days after the pen incident, Sammy also made a shocking claim about Gordon Ramsay.
But the only thing that pissed me off is when he sexually harassed my wife in the kitchen.
How did he sexually harass your wife?
Well, Amy can tell you because she's the one who, she can tell you what she's the one who was there.
This was not the first time the Bouzaglos made this claim. In November of the previous year, Sammy was caught on video saying the same thing in front of a group of customers.
You harassed my wife, you sexually harassed in the kitchen, he did.
Right.
He did what he wanted from other wives, put him on the war between husband and wife. He tried.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he tried. He tried.
Right. More drama. He knew what he did was wrong. He harassed me in the kitchen really badly about, he sexually harassed me. We didn't talk about that last time because we didn't want to ever take it out. When Gordon Ramsay came, he was a gentleman. Everything was great. And then all of a sudden he says this to me. Your husband doesn't have any balls. And I freaked out. I'm like, nobody in this world is going to say that my husband doesn't have any balls. My husband has balls. He has 4 pairs of balls. So he knew that it affected me, so he started to tease me about it. And he said, you are holding your husband's balls in the palm of your hands. Your husband is afraid of you. And that is when I went nuts. I said, my husband is not afraid of me. He's not afraid of you. He's not afraid of anybody. Leave me alone and stop talking about my husband's balls. Stop harassing me about my husband's balls. That's it. So then he does this to me. What do his balls feel like? Are they big? Are they hairy? He doesn't have any testicles. What are his balls like? And he gets down like on his knees, like puts his arms up in the air like he's cupping his hands in the air, looking like for me like he's holding Sammy's balls or something. I said, Sammy, he will not stop harassing me about your balls, your testicles. I don't want to talk to him about that. I wasn't going to allow anybody to harass me about testicles. I said, Sammy, he's harassing me about your balls. He won't stop.
In late 2014, as another controversial year came to a close for the couple, Amy said this about Gordon Ramsay in an interview. "I don't want to talk about him, to tell you the truth. I think it's best we move on from that." A spokesperson for Kitchen Nightmares sent the following statement. "The owners of Amy's Baking Company continue to make baseless and inflammatory comments. These ridiculous accusations are completely untrue." In early 2015, a new reality show opportunity emerged for the Bouzaglos, potentially co-starring with Ray J from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. According to TMZ, Ray J had stopped by Amy's for lunch and was impressed, which reportedly led to the initial interest. However, it seems nothing further materialized from this potential collaboration in the long run. In the spring of 2015, Amy released her cookbook, Baking with Amy. She dedicates the book to her mother, an artist who encouraged young Amy to be bold in everything she did. When asked once what her favorite dessert was, Amy replied that it was her mother's cheesecake. The book leads baking warrior wannabes on an educational culinary adventure, as per Amy's description. It is described as a teaching guidebook that reveals culinary secrets and beloved kitchen-tested and customer-approved dessert recipes to help baking novices create delicious, crowd-pleasing pastries. Amy Bouzaglo is a self-taught home cook and professional pastry chef, it goes on to say. The book garnered a meager 1.8 out of 5 stars on Amazon, though it's uncertain how many of these reviews came from genuine readers versus online critics. In April 2015, Gordon Ramsay participated in his Reddit Ask Me Anything session. When asked if he had any contact with Amy's Baking Company after the show, he laughed and said, "Are you mad? No. Even though he gets inquiries daily, he has no desire to return." He added, "They seem to go out on a limb to attack people and take great pleasure in attacking people. It's a bit weird. They become so successful for being so bad." Amy's response to Gordon's statement? "I think Gordon Ramsay should feel sorry for himself. He is the one who is losing his restaurant. He is the one being sued." This likely refers to Gordon's LA restaurant, The Fat Cow, which was involved in a $6 million lawsuit filed by his former landlord. The landlord claimed Ramsay and his business partner broke their $52,000 a month lease. Throughout 2015, reviews for Amy's Baking Company remained sharply divided, with most ratings clustered at the extremes, either 1 or 5 stars, haters or lovers. In July 2015, the Bouzaglos reached their breaking point. They announced to the Phoenix Business Journal their intention to sell Amy's Baking Company, signaling a potential end to their controversial journey as restaurant owners. The Bouzaglos claimed to have a French buyer lined up for their restaurant, pending visa approvals. Meanwhile, they're planning a new venture selling custom desserts to Phoenix area businesses based out of Gold Canyon, where they live. Amy also intends to start an online cooking school. The couple insisted their restaurant's closure wasn't due to their Kitchen Nightmares controversy. Instead, they cited ongoing disputes with their landlord over odors at their shopping center, blaming sewage problems, grease traps, and property management issues.
And so the end begins.
On September 1st, 2015, Amy tweeted, "The end," with the caption, "Or is it just the beginning?" Amy responded to Food Network Gossip, who tweeted about their closure, saying they were now focusing on new projects. The Bouzaglos expressed pride in their restaurant's survival for almost 3 years following Gordon Ramsay's infamous visit in 2012. Soon, the couple was shopping for materials to build the commissary for their planned online cooking school. In October, they shared photos of marble slabs they considered for the baking studio. Amy dubbed this future workspace the Cake Lab, hinting at aspirations for a professional-grade setup. Amy tweeted not long after a video of Arizona along with the caption, "Another beautiful day in paradise. #Arizona, #SoBlessed." Sammy echoed a similar sentiment a few months later in early 2016, praising their life in paradise. That's why it's somewhat surprising that the couple decided to leave Arizona and move to a small enclave near the University of California, Los Angeles, later that year. In an interview in late 2016 with Breaking Into Reality on Afterbuzz TV, the couple gave an update on the new chapter of their lives in California after Amy's Baking Company.
Oh, tell us about the move to Los Angeles.
Well, we sold the restaurant, like I said last year. We sold it. We didn't lose it. We didn't shutter it. Okay, all of the media, they've shuttered. And it's like, no, we sold it. But we were actually investigated after the show by the Department of Wage, Hour, and Labor for stealing our servers' tips, you know. There was nothing inappropriate done there. We were cleared of any wrongdoing. If any of that had merit, we would have been penalized. We would have been in prison, or we would have been in an insane asylum, to tell you the truth. And we came here to California, and we are getting ready to be everywhere. Our desserts will be everywhere. We're spreading like mushrooms. Amy's Baking Co. 2.0. Amy's on the go.
Regarding the tip issue and the Change.org petition that resulted in an investigation, the final update on the page said that the state of Arizona released an official statement through the HMA Public Relations, revealing that no specific state law determines whether tips belong to the employer or employee when the employer pays minimum wage. Although the organizers were still holding out hope for a decision at the federal level. As hinted in the Afterbuzz interview, Amy launched Amy's Baking Company version 2.0 in 2017, offering a delivery service in the Los Angeles area. It included a line of cannabis-infused desserts, which she shared an image of on Twitter not long after. At the heart of Amy's Sweet Magic, their online dessert delivery service, were desserts in a jar. This concept was gaining traction at the time due to its convenience in shipping. One example was their strawberry cheesecake, packaged neatly in a jar for easy transport and enjoyment. After moving to California, Amy and Sammy initially seemed to enjoy their new lifestyle. They embraced the beach life, a sharp contrast to Arizona's deserts. This new environment appeared to invigorate them, offering a fresh start away from the controversies that had plagued them in Scottsdale. Their negative online interactions diminished for a while as they settled into their new location. The couple was spotted at various events in their new city, including the Agents of Los Angeles Bash, where they were photographed mingling with other attendees. They seemed eager to immerse themselves in the LA social scene, sharing glimpses of their new lifestyle on social media platforms. Yet, by 2018, Amy began reverting to her more aggressive posting style, with statements like, "You are all nothing," reminiscent of Amy's Baking Company days. In March 2018, Amy tweeted at Gordon Ramsay and Fox TV, accusing them of bullying and harassment. This was in response to Kitchen Nightmares re-releasing the previously unseen footage, including their submission video and unreleased parts, once again.
Everything from scratch, I would, and
You can
most of
pull
the
the
time
wool
I
over
do.
your husband's eyes, but you can't do it to me.
While Gordon didn't respond directly to Amy's tweets, a month later, in April 2018, he jokingly asked if Amy's Baking Company was making a comeback when a fan showed him some homemade bunny biscuits. In August, Amy tweeted about a lawsuit against Ramsay, claiming he would soon be exposed and held accountable, using hashtags like #MeToo and Time's Up. Even tweeting to the then American president, Donald Trump, saying, "I was also victimized by the fake media." In fact, many people reported that Amy went so far as to appear in the comment section of YouTube videos to publicly attack the creators of the videos and their followers. There are numerous reports of this appearing all over the web, although it is difficult to tell which ones were genuinely Amy and which ones were fake accounts designed to look like the couple. Amy's return to a more negative online presence might have been partly due to the stress of Sammy's ongoing immigration case. After 10 years and a reported $250,000 spent on lawyers, the couple faced the reality that Sammy's time in the USA might end. In a last-ditch effort to stay in the United States, Samy Bouzaglo petitioned the Court of Appeals, claiming his previous lawyer had failed him. He argued that his old convictions from France and Germany shouldn't count against him, and that he should have been given a chance to apply for asylum. But the court wasn't buying it. They said Sammy's old lawyer did fine, and that he didn't have a good reason to ask for asylum anyway. Sammy's chances of staying in America went with this ruling. It was the end of the road for his immigration battle.
Sammy is from Israel. We had been fighting Sammy's immigration case since 2008. And we had to go to immigration court and be told that we were being deported the day after Kitchen Nightmares aired. He lost all of his deals. In 2018, he was ordered to leave America, and he did. And I followed him.
After 18 years in the States, Samy Bouzaglo was deported. The couple moved to Israel for the next chapter of their lives. They settled in Netanya, a coastal city north of Tel Aviv.
We started a new chapter of our life, and we moved to Israel.
That is Samy Bouzaglo.
We live in a beautiful town, Netanya. We live right on the beach.
This is our patio. This is our building.
And we're getting ready to open a bakery downstairs.
For me here in Israel, the life is honey. I'm enjoying this beautiful town, beautiful country. I'm retired.
The couple remained active on social media during this time. Amy posted photo updates of their new home, including this one announcing their upcoming 17th wedding anniversary, with Amy saying, with all her heart, she would marry him again. Along with updated photos of themselves, Amy also made several cooking videos that she posted online.
You guys how to make a classic chocolate cake. Flip it out. Give it a knock. Voila. Smooth it out. Right down in there.
In a 2021 interview with the New York Post, their first in years, the couple shared insights about their time on the show. Amy claimed the production crew interfered by moving kitchen items around and undermining their point-of-sale system. The pair continued to deny various accusations, insisting they never took staff tips for one.
I wanted to kill myself. What has Gordon Ramsay done to help me? Are we being punked? I literally just wanted to die. They really made us seem like horrible people. When Kitchen Nightmares showed up, they took one entire day, turned every single thing upside down. We were used to going to grab something by habit, and they moved everything. They sabotaged Sammy's point of sale system.
Don't give it. I didn't give it to you.
I wasn't receiving any of the food orders.
Kidding me right now?
They portrayed us as being defensive. They made it seem like I couldn't take any kind of criticism. They made it seem like Sammy didn't know what he was doing in the front.
Sammy is completely disorganized.
It looks like Sammy pushed the other guy, but that's not what happened. That guy pushed Sammy, and Sammy pushed him back.
They wanted to do this for drama. You, drama.
They made it seem like my husband and I were stealing our servers' tips.
The owner takes the tips.
And that is a fat-out lie. I absolutely did respond to people, but the really, really negative things, they were not us responding. The production company illegally gained access to my computer.
Thanks to someone who has helped me, I am capturing someone who is not allowed to be on my Facebook page.
They are the ones who wrote those things, and they did it to create drama. I've grown tremendously from this entire situation. There were a lot of things that I regret. I regret my behavior.
You guys are full of shit.
I regret that the whole world had to see how I am when I'm severely defensive and scared.
Sammy, what about you?
It was fun. I thought, what?
You are not normal for saying that.
All what's happened for me was a joke. It's just a joke.
Then, in August 2021, Amy posted this mock image of herself on her Facebook page, designed to resemble a Vogue magazine cover. A week after that, Sammy posted the same photo on his Facebook page, with the caption saying, Amy wanted to be a fake model, like her pastries, alluding to the fact that Amy's pastries were not made entirely by her, as she had claimed. In the comment section, Sammy further clarified, saying, she's fake, it's filtered, and that Amy left and turned whore in LA, were his following words. He concluded by saying that she didn't want to give him a divorce. One other poster said it sounded like she's money hungry, to which Sammy replied, yes. A couple weeks after that, in the fall of 2021, Sammy posted this photo and commented that Amy was doing it because she was looking for attention. When someone else praised Amy in the comments, Sammy said, good luck to her. Sammy also posted a letter written by Amy from several years before. I cannot tell you how very proud I was today to walk into Bravo Bistro with you at my side and introduce you as my husband. It was always my dream to return to Arizona, my home, with the man of my dreams. I want to make you proud, and I want to make my mother proud. She suffered so much, and all she ever wanted was for Lisa and me to be safe and happy. She ends a letter by promising Sammy that the business would succeed. "With all of my love, now and forever." It seems like this letter must have been from around the years 2004 to 2006. He further went on to mockingly repost some of Amy's old Facebook posts, such as the "I am Wonder Woman" post. Following this, though, neither Amy nor Sammy has been very active online. There have been no more interviews or media appearances. Amy removed portions of her social media postings, such as her TikTok account, which she had used for making baking videos, and many Facebook photos from her time in Israel and Los Angeles. Someone asked on the official Facebook page in 2023 if she is still selling cakes in Israel, to which Amy replied with a simple no. After splitting from Sammy, Amy returned to the United States, settling back in Arizona. Records show she filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in August 2023 under her birth name, Amanda Patricia Kirkham. This type of bankruptcy lets people sell assets to resolve debts. As of the last update, her case was still pending. Now let's see what happened to Katie and Miranda, the two waitresses, in the 10+ years following Kitchen Nightmares. Katie famously walked out of Amy's baking company the night of filming, never looking back.
She's a poisonous little viper, and I don't allow people to have an attitude in my restaurant. What does she know? Who the hell is she? She is gone.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
After Katie's departure, Miranda's time at Amy's baking company was brief but eventful. Following Chef Ramsay's visit, Amy and Sammy became increasingly paranoid, believing everyone was against them. In a moment of impulsiveness, they fired the entire staff, including Miranda. However, the next day they changed their mind and called Miranda, asking her to return. She agreed, primarily due to her fondness for the regular customers who appreciated her.
This is my second visit back because you make your own pasta, it comes out beautiful. I would come back again and bring friends.
Great.
Very satisfied. And the service was excellent. What is your name?
Okay. My name is Miranda.
Well, I'm very pleased to meet you, and you gave me excellent service. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Miranda's second stint at Amy's baking company was short-lived. When Sammy and Amy caught her accepting a $5 tip from a customer, breaching the employee contract that prohibited taking tips, they erupted. They called Miranda a thief and demanded that she leave the restaurant immediately.
And I threw the money at them and I walked out and told them, "Don't ever talk to me again. I'm done with this place."
In a radio interview with Phoenix's Mix 96.9, just 10 days after the Kitchen Nightmares episode aired, Miranda shared more about her departure from Amy's baking company. Miranda says that one of her regulars left the tip for her, but being aware of what went on during the show, with management taking the tips, he placed it under the table for her. Unfortunately, Sammy spotted this and started screaming at her that it was his money. She said he came into her face, yelling at her, "Give me my money, give me my money." She yelled at him, "It's not your money," with both screaming and shouting at each other. It was $5. $5. He made a huge scene about it, like it's the end of the world. "So I threw it at him and walked out," was how Miranda described it. Miranda said in the interview about the tips, "I was taking them, of course, because legally that's my money." She felt she missed much extra income by forfeiting her tips, telling the radio station, "Honestly, I've seen people tip pretty well there. I probably missed out on maybe $200 a day." Amy and Sammy disputed Miranda's account and sent the security cam video of the incident to Radar Online to prove their point. He did not yell at her, he told her to put the money in the jar and leave. She never threw it at him, and he never yelled at her. She is lying, was their response. Although the video is no longer available, the Radar Online team at the time verified that it showed Sammy and Miranda arguing at the cash register. Sammy can be seen waving his finger around, but he never gets in Miranda's face like she said he did. When Miranda took the $5 out of her pocket and left it on the counter for Sammy, Amy is overheard going ballistic, saying she wants to call the cops and have Miranda sent to jail. Amy and Sammy were outraged by Miranda's radio interview, in which she admitted to pocketing tips. A source close to the Bouzaglos claims the interview proves Miranda stole their money. Miranda is lucky that Amy and Sammy aren't vengeful and don't feel the need to prosecute her, the source said. It's clear she took advantage of them while she worked there. Also, regarding tips, no Department of Justice investigation ever materialized at the federal level. The controversy remained local, and no federal probe emerged in the long run. After Miranda left Amy's baking company, she got another job as a waitress at a local Cracker Barrel location, to which Amy commented, "Cracker Barrel? LMFAO, which stands for Laugh My Effin' Ass Off." There is also not a lot of information online about what happened to Miranda in the long run. Perhaps she wanted to remain out of the spotlight following the Amy's Baking Company fiasco, which is understandable. As for Katie, she certainly didn't let the wild and chaotic Amy's Baking Company experience detract her from getting on with her life. Just a few weeks after the episode aired in May 2013, Katie graduated from high school and headed off to the University of Oregon. She quickly became a die-hard Ducks fan. She definitely seemed to be loving college life. For a while, Katie was active on social media, sharing updates about her life post-Kitchen Nightmares. People were always commenting and curious about what happened at Amy's Baking Company. Katie was enjoying the change of pace in Oregon compared to Arizona. She traded in the desert for lush forests and scenic hiking trails. Her social media showed her constantly exploring the great outdoors, showcasing the natural beauty of her new home state. It was clear Katie was having a blast and fully embracing the Pacific Northwest lifestyle. Like Miranda, Katie maintains a limited online presence, with no professional updates available. It's unclear what path their careers took after their time at Amy's Baking Company. Miranda and Katie endured significant challenges as 17-year-olds on the show, and experiencing such turmoil at a young age likely impacted them. This may explain why they have chosen to stay out of the spotlight more than a decade later. Katie's most recent life update came from her wedding in Germany's famously scenic Black Forest region, provided a picturesque backdrop for the big day, and photos shared from the event showed Katie dressed in her bridal gown alongside her new husband. The couple exchanged their vows in this lovely and popular destination, known for its enchanting forestscapes. We wish them both the very best in the future together. As for Joel the Tondrous, the man whose review sparked the entire media firestorm, Kitchen Nightmares producers reportedly contacted him about being on the show. However, an insider revealed that Joel turned them down, stating he would never return nor recommend this place to anyone. When Joel first wrote his now infamous Yelp review of Amy's Baking Company in 2010, he was working an IT job and blogging about his restaurant experiences. But after 16 years in the tech world, Joel was ready for a change. In 2015, he and his wife Lara, known as the Arizona Cheese Goddess for her prior store, Petit Fromage, decided to take the leap and purchase their spot together in the Phoenix area called Arcadia Premium. The store offered a selection of wine, beer, and artisan food products for delivery to the local community. It was a significant career move, but Joel seemed excited to embark on this new adventure with his partner by his side. The local Phoenix community welcomed them with open arms and had nothing but good things to say about Joel and Lara, who offered a variety of local gourmet food and drink. With a 4.9 Yelp rating, they clearly have the skills to run a business such as Arcadia Premium. The top reviews online praised the business. With Lara and Joel, you were treated like a friend. The business became indispensable to the community during the pandemic, and its delivery services were a lifeline for those homebound by restrictions. In August 2022, he left Arcadia Premium after 8 years, following a separation from his wife. After finalizing their divorce, they posted a final photo online, expressing mutual love and respect despite choosing separate paths. After becoming single, Joel traveled the country for several years. He returned to his home state of Minnesota for a period, then worked the fall harvest at a Santa Rosa, California vineyard in 2023. He settled in Franklin, Tennessee, where he serves as the wine director at St. Good Wine and Whiskey. Though he has weathered significant life changes, Joel continues to adapt and find new paths forward. The site of the former Amy's Baking Company location has undergone several changes since its closure in 2015. As mentioned, Amy and Samy had a French buyer waiting on visa approval. This came through and BR Wine Bar was set to open just over a month after ABC's closure. The new owners made significant, though perhaps cost-effective, changes to the space. They covered Amy's distinctive black and white Harlequin checkerboard floor with laminate wood flooring. They also installed a bar area with a faux brick design, possibly a budget-friendly choice to create ambiance without the expense of authentic materials. Wine murals were added to the walls, presumably reinforcing the wine bar theme as the main focus of the establishment. Interestingly, they kept the black tables and chairs from Amy's. This decision was likely more about practicality than sentiment. Black furniture is versatile and hides wear, making it a sensible choice for a new business that is watching its budget. Amy's distinctive Gothic black chandeliers were replaced with more contemporary lighting fixtures. Intriguingly, photographs of Amy and Samy taken shortly after ABC's closure reveal similar black chandeliers in the background of their new setting. This suggests that the couple may have retained these signature pieces when they left the restaurant. taking a part of ABC's unique ambiance to their new location. By late October 2015, BR Wine Bar had completed its renovations and officially opened its doors to welcome new customers. Amy tweeted, wishing the new owners of her former location much success. We encourage everyone to go try them out. BR Wine Bar initially fared better in reviews than ABC, with customers praising Bruno, the French owner. However, the success compared to their prior tenant was short-lived. Despite a rating of 4.6 out of 5 on Yelp after just over a year, they abruptly announced their closure online in December 2016. Even with the initial positive reception, this rapid turnover raises questions about the challenges new restaurants face, including its locations with built-in notoriety. Following BR Wine Bar's closure, the location underwent another transformation. This time it was converted into the Grand Stand, a hamburger restaurant. The new establishment was inspired by and based on the original The Stand, a Phoenix area burger stand that had built a solid reputation over the years. This change marked yet another shift in the identity of the former Amy's Baking Company space, moving from fine dining to casual burgers, and likely aiming to capitalize on local nostalgia and the popularity of the original stand. The interior of the new Grand Stand underwent another renovation. The walls were painted white, creating a brighter atmosphere. The bar area was redesigned to suit the new concept. Some wall decor was added, likely to evoke the feel of a classic burger joint. Interestingly, the black tables and chairs originally from Amy's Baking Company were retained again. These versatile pieces continue to serve their purpose, proving a practical choice for another restaurant incarnation in this ever-changing space. The Grand Stand offered a menu featuring burgers, shakes, and tacos. While some reviewers noted that the burgers didn't quite match those of the original stand location, the restaurant generally received positive feedback. It achieved a favorable 4.3 rating on Yelp, indicating that the Grand Stand was well received by most customers. Despite all that, the Grand Stand would close in 2019, just over 2 years after opening. Following its closure, the building underwent its most extensive transformation yet. The interior was entirely gutted from top to bottom, as documented in a video of the renovation process. In the footage, remnants of Amy's black and white checkerboard flooring, along with the logo from the previous tenants, are visible in the background. This thorough renovation erased nearly all traces of the location's prior occupants. The location was slated to become Rachel's Young at Art Studio, a venue offering art classes and summer camp programs for local children. The space was transformed completely to create a welcoming environment for children's learning and play, starkly contrasting its previous incarnations. Interior walls were added to divide the space. Despite pandemic-related delays, a renovation was eventually completed. The new design features bright, vibrant wall colors, with a faux brick wall adding texture. Rachel's Young at Art Studio remains open today, enjoying overwhelmingly positive ratings from the local community, marking a successful new chapter for this ever-evolving location. The Peta Jungle, located in the same plaza as Amy's Baking Company but standing in stark contrast, continues to thrive. This location is part of a statewide franchise that recently marked its 30th anniversary. It remains open today, with reviewers consistently praising its healthy, delicious food at reasonable prices. The enduring success of Peta Jungle in this plaza serves as an interesting counterpoint to the tumultuous history of Amy's Baking Company's space. Amy and Sammy's current lives remain shrouded in mystery. They maintain an online presence, though less actively than before. Amy posts baking videos showing only her hands, while Sammy's Facebook posts focus mainly on local politics. Both have recently disabled comments on their latest posts, perhaps to avoid public scrutiny. The Kitchen Nightmares episode featuring the restaurant has achieved notable success, standing as the highest-rated episode of the series with a 9.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb. Though Amy's Baking Company is no more, its legacy lives on as a bizarre footnote in reality TV history, and a reminder of the internet's ability to create and destroy reputations overnight. Critics praised the episode, with one describing it as nothing short of amazing. It's a story that will likely continue to fascinate and perplex for years to come, serving as a warning to business owners and a testament to the strange, unpredictable nature of viral fame.
This is what people really want to see. I think that people need to understand we kind of reinvented reality TV.